HSBC has just announced that they will be offering 10 gender-neutral pronouns for their trans and non-gender binary customers. So why did they choose 10 and not 58 or 72? Well, it's not exactly clear, and it seems to be a number they simply plucked out of the air. Here's what they had to say about it.
For transgender people, we had MX, but we didn't have a whole load of other ones. And actually, especially for people who identify as non-binary, they don't necessarily always want to use the MX title. So we've added 10 other new titles on there that allow customers to choose one that's more appropriate to them.
This announcement and advertising campaign comes right on the back of HSBC's latest investigation for money laundering. This latest investigation is only the most recent. In 2012, the head of compliance at HSBC stepped down after it was revealed that the bank had been involved in money laundering for Al-Qaeda and Mexican drug cartels. Of course, virtue signaling with gender-neutral pronouns is cheap and easy. It's apparently much harder for banks to avoid dirty money from terrorists and criminals. In Australia, the Commonwealth Bank recently launched its own special program aimed at little girls. It was called A Man Is Not a Financial Plan. This advertising campaign included the bank telling little girls that unless they grow up to be financially independent, then they may be at risk of domestic violence. This came on the back of the Commonwealth Bank being investigated for illegal practices here in Australia under their insurance arm. The bank was accused of forcing doctors to change their medical opinions in order to avoid making insurance payouts to their own customers. Just this week, the head of ASIC, which is Australia's corporate regulator, said that he is still seeing appalling things occurring at our banks. He's talking about predatory lending, not paying out insurance claims, giving bad financial advice, and money laundering. The key takeaway message is this: if banks are using social justice activism, such as transgender pronouns or feminism, to promote themselves as ethical, it's quite likely they're doing it to distract from something else. They're trying to portray themselves as having corporate responsibility in the least costly way possible.
Join us for good.
Now, there's nothing wrong with lending and there's nothing wrong with obtaining finance. It's a key driver of the economy. But the reality is that banks really don't care about social justice. All they really care about is getting you to pay the compound interest. The second takeaway message is this: if banks are using feminism and transgender pronouns or other social justice warrior causes to promote their brands, then by definition these causes are not radical, they are mainstream. And so being skeptical is itself an act of rebellion. I'm Claire Lehman for the Rebel.media. If you would like to see more coverage of stories that you won't see anywhere else, make sure you like and subscribe.